Stream is live, it says.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
I
Did
hear you.
anybody? Jim, you hear me? Give me a thumbs
Huh.
up.
I hear you.
Okay. Steve, you don't hear me. I guess he doesn't hear me.
Steve, do you hear him? Steve, do you hear me? Steve's not hearing.
Steve is.
He actually looks frozen.
Let me remove him and put him
He
back.
just dropped out, rebooted. He's coming back up now. Rich, I use the need help button down there, and I said echo, and it had some settings, but I think because you originated, you probably have to do the settings on it. But there is a cancel echo.
Yeah, you know what? I've used that in the past. And it made my echo worse. Are you still getting an echo?
I am getting an echo, but not from you. Let me see here. Echo cancellation is on. I'm going to turn it off just for the heck of it.
Say something, Rich.
Hey, Steve, can you hear me
Oh,
now?
I got your volume back now.
Okay.
Now I got an echo.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, well, that's live TV, live radio, man.
Live TV. We're gonna have
Stuff
to deal with
happens.
an echo, I guess. So all three of us are on.
We're here.
All right. I don't know what happened to Mark. I know he met a new lady last week, so he might be on another adventure. But yeah, so this is the thought I had about this was, first of all, thanks guys for agreeing to do it. I hope you continue to agree with me after we get started. I hope we can set aside politics and simply become investigators, kind of.
Mhm.
Before we begin, I'd like to read a few prepared thoughts to organize my project and establish some guidelines. We don't need that part. Like I was into, like you, Steve, with Jefferson and Madison, the Federalist Papers and stuff. Whoop, am I getting a call? All right. But I realized that they didn't invent the ideas they wrote about out of thin air. They inherited them, refined them, and developed them. They were building upon ideas that had been evolving through a long history of Western civilization. And it seems to me, I haven't been able to find any kind of contribution from like Asia. Like there's no Confucius in the history of our rights. There's nothing from Africa. There's nothing from the Middle East. So it's all a thread that goes through Western civilization. So I started out, I was thinking, who invented natural rights, but that I've changed that to something a little bit more interesting, which is, what is the historical evidence for the development of the idea that individuals possess rights independent of those who govern them, which is a little different, I think, than just trying to figure out where they got our natural rights from. Notice the word evidence. Our search begins where the evidence begins. We're not trying to reconstruct this prehistoric situations. We're tracing the historical evidence of an idea, and that means following the evidence wherever it leads, beginning with the earliest written records. not asking anyone to prove a theory. I'm asking each of us to become investigators. The way I thought of it was, it had, I think AA, my AA background had a little to do with it, but it talks about foundations in AA and stuff. So I started thinking about the cornerstone, and which brought me to a building like a cathedral. No single architect built the entire structure. One generation laid the foundation, one laid the cornerstone, another raised the walls, another added the roof, stained glass, and so on. I think ideas develop in the same way. I think the idea of rights, individual rights, develop much the same way. Let's get that point. Last week I opened the book by Brian Tierney, The Idea of Natural Rights. I showed you that, right, Jim?
Yep.
And it opened to a 4th century Franciscan friar named William of Ockham. And Tierney, who is a historian, he suggests that Ockham may have contributed ideas to the later developments of rights. And I don't know whether I agree with that or not. I mean, he's a historian, but that's the point. I'm not interested in accepting his conclusion. I want to find what other guys also thought of Ockham, and then what Ockham wrote himself. I'm interested in getting whether the evidence supports Tierney's interpretation. I'd like our group to approach every thinker that way. We can use historians, use AI, use Google, use libraries, whatever tools help you begin your search. But whenever possible, let's follow those trails back to the original sources. Our goal isn't to win arguments. Our goal isn't to prove ourselves right. Our goal is simply to follow the evidence honestly wherever it leads. We each can begin with our own knowledge or interest. You may have been interested in ancient Greece or Hebrew scriptures or Roman law, or like with me, just open a book and start somewhere. Whatever page you open to that interests you. Wherever we begin, we just want to follow the evidence. We're not going to discover a missing cornerstone by next week. At least I hope we don't. If the idea developed over centuries, it's probably going to take us some time to trace its path. So what I want to do is, each time we get together, simply find one possible link in the chain. One thinker, one document, one event, one idea that you believe may have contributed to the development of the idea that individuals possess rights independent of those who govern them. Then when we come back together, we'll compare what we found, challenge each other's thinking, see where the evidence leads. I think we're going to learn something if we do that. So I would say let the hunt begin, and I'd like to get you guys' thoughts on the process or on what I said.
Rich, I'd like to clarify one thing in there. You're saying independent of government. I think it's independent of politics, but I don't know how we do it independent of government. For instance, if I go back and I say, here's a caveman, he's Og, and there's a cave, and the people who are in Og's tribe are allowed in the cave. That's government. It's not politics, but it's government.
Right.
So I think, if we try to keep government out of it, we're going to have a problem, because government, I think, rights, and it depends on which way we go with it, but rights are there to control the government. And you can't separate that, I don't think. The politics, I don't want to get into left, right, up, down, but I think you have to include government.
I think you're right. I probably misspoke. I should have said politics. And I don't even want to. I mean, we're not even. I don't want to start even where there's politics involved. And I mean, I want to get started back. You know, I mean, I'm sure there was politics in Og's cave, but and I don't even. I don't really want to start where back that far as Og, but wherever we start, we're not going to know the politics of the day. But there will be government involved. You're right. You know, there'll be a king, or there'll be you know, some kind of ruler.
Well, Rich, let me offer this and see what you think, if this is government or what it is. What I found, one of the first things I found was the ancient Sumerians. And it goes back to the first written language of cuneiform. You know, when you take Humanities 1 in college or something.
Right.
And it says the ancient Sumerians gave humanity its first recorded written word for liberty, Amagi or Amagi, however you pronounce it, meaning literally return to mother, which signified the cancellation of debts, release from bondage, and restoration to the family. Rather than an abstract natural right, they viewed freedom as practical, periodic release from oppressive debt and royal burdens. And that's the first recorded word, according to AI, of liberty. And it had to do with debt and slavery to debt, that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, I'd like to find where. Let me write that down, because that way I can look at it over the week and see where that fits. But that sounds like going back to the beginning. You know, whether that'll be our cornerstone. I guess during the week, Jim and I, and if Mark ever comes back in, we can look at that and form our own opinions and see if we agree or disagree, and then move on from there, possibly. I kind of think of it as like a jigsaw puzzle. Like I found that thing about Occam. That could possibly be a part of the jigsaw puzzle that brings us back to what is it? The Sumerians. Whoop,
We lost Steve again.
we lost Steve again.
I thought he said the Sumerian.
Yeah. So I'd like to look at those, you know, what he just said, and see. Here he is back again. You back, Steve?
Yeah, I don't know why I keep getting bounced. It keeps telling me I'm offline, but I check my Wi-Fi and I'm online. But you know how my Facebook is.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like you.
Yeah, that was the ancient Sumerians,
Okay.
and it was
And they-
cuneiform.
What was the word that they used?
It was, let me read it again. It says AMA, which means mother, dash GI, or Amaga, Amagi, meaning literally return to mother. AMA GI. But it dealt primarily with, like I said, slavery to debt. You're a slave to your debt. And this meant they viewed freedom as a practical, periodic release from oppressive debt and royal burdens.
Bankruptcy court.
Essentially, yeah. That's. But I think the Jews, not to get into governments, but the Jews have something similar. Where like every 7 years they're released from debts and stuff. The ancient Jews.
One of the times when you were gone, Jim and I were talking about. Though Jim brought up the fact that when I said governments,
Yeah.
that's not really what I meant. I meant politics. You know.
Yep, I heard that. Yeah, I
Okay.
was here for that one. But okay, I'm back temporarily, I guess, and we're streaming and
Yeah.
until Facebook
Yeah,
bumps me.
we're streaming on YouTube as well, I believe.
Yeah. But that was the earliest reference to, quote, liberty that I was able to find, the ancient Sumerians. Hammurabi's Code.
Now that's written somewhere in ancient.
Hammurabi's Code, yeah. AI found it for me.
What's Hammurabi? How you spelling Hammurabi's code?
HAMARABI. Hammurabi's Code. Back in, if you think back to college and Humanities 1, the Epic of Gilgamesh and Hammurabi's Code and the ancient Sumerians and Cuneiform.
I didn't do college.
I hated Humanities 1.
I did Vietnam instead.
Yeah. Well, I did my
What do you
college
think
over a
about that,
20-year
Jim?
military career.
Jim, what do you think about that?
I'm gonna have to go back out and look at it because I'm not familiar at all with the Samaritans and what they might have done. When I started looking at this, in my mind, Steve, I'm very process oriented, and so I have to start to work things back along the timeline. So I started with the U.S. and said, okay, where did the thoughts that were there come from? They came from English common law, which goes back to things like the Magna Carta, which said, it basically was a revolution in his government. I'm sure they felt there were politics, but I don't have a side on the politics. But they basically, what that said was, when there were no rights, the king could say whatever he wanted to say. He could say, he could take property, give property, he could, anything the king said was automatically law. And the Magna Carta, I think we just lost Steve again.
Yeah, Steve went out again.
The Magna Carta is the first place that they started to put controls on the king. So the king couldn't take your rights away. And that's where John Locke first comes in, and he is the one that Jefferson and Madison looked at his philosophy of natural law,
right,
to say that people had rights. It wasn't up to the king to give you your rights. People had rights, and that became a rights are there not for the king to control people, but for the people to control the king. It's basically becomes your rights are should be the guardrail that tell government what they can do. That's how far back I got. And I don't know if that's as far back as you want to get, Rick.
No, I want to go. That's almost a starting spot.
All right. That's what I was doing, starting.
Yep, I want to get back to back further. Maybe here's Steve again. Let me put him on stage.
I'm going to stop the streaming over here and just pay attention to what's going on here with you, Rich, since you think you're streaming on YouTube. So
Yeah.
apparently Facebook hates me today.
All right. We were just talking about. Jim was just talking about. He got back as far as the Magna Carta, and now what did Locke have to do with the Magna Carta? Where was he? How did he come in there?
Locke had the philosophy of natural law, natural order, and that was basically that the king did not give you your rights. You had natural rights that controlled what the king did. So it was government not controlling the people, but people controlling the government. So that's, like you said, Rich, I think that's a starting point.
Yeah, I think we can go back further, and because that's the thread that I want to do. I want to get. There's been a lot of historians that have had, like that guy Tierney, and there's a couple other. I don't Richard, that did certain parts of the string. And I want to kind of see if we can put them together. I think it'd be interesting to put them together and see where each of them got their information, and go back as far as we can, and not to, like I said, not to prove any, or not even to think about the founding fathers yet. Just to discover who was talking about, like Locke, like natural rights, like before him though. There's all kinds of. I mean, I forget the years.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't invent it.
No, he certainly didn't invent it. No.
What I got, Rich, was oh boy, what was it? Of course, I got the Stoics. And, you and I talked the other day about the Stoics, but what I found through AI is the part about Hammurabi's code and the ancient Sumerians and the first word for liberty. But even before the ancient Greeks, Plato and Socrates and those
Right.
guys, it said what my AI said was the Bible and the Torah and the book of Deuteronomy specifically, and where they broke down government, not politics, but government, and and individual rights. And they talked about slavery and, if you have a slave and it, but then that's where it said the ancient Greeks, Plato said, the, the Torah existed long before the ancient Greeks and the Stoics was the point.
Yeah, ancient Hebrews was the way I heard about it. It's so that's closer to adding the earlier puzzle piece to it.
And what my AI said was
It just froze up again, Steve.
Just froze up. Steve, you there? Well, it didn't take him away this time.
No. I'm guessing. There he goes.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe if I shifted the layout.
He's losing his internet connection somehow.
Yeah, somehow he's getting blocked out. It's timing him out. It seems to be a certain amount of time. But yeah, the ancient Hebrews. I'm thinking that that's someplace that we will find information too.
Yeah.
Like I said, whatever interests. I don't know where you will go, Jim. Back, like from here, like from your Steve again. Boy, you're like a bad penny. You come and go.
I tell you what, I'm going to have to get off here and let you guys do your thing. But Rich, I just texted you my AI, what it said about it evolved up through the Magna Carta in 1215 and matured during the 17th and 18th century European Enlightenment. Thinkers like John Locke defined it around inherent natural rights and social contracts.
Right.
So that's what my research showed. It starts with the ancient Sumerians, goes through the biblical period of the Torah.
Well, you see now, this is what I'm talking about. The AI and all of that, books and everything are all welcome, but I think when I get the information from AI, I want to go back and look at it.
Oh, I agree.
Not just take AI's word,
Right.
or a historian's word, but actually, I mean, we're taking their word, but we're going back and seeing if it connects to other guys. I just think it'll be an interesting journey, and who knows.
Yeah, this AI made a leap from, the ancient Sumerians up to biblical times and
Right.
the ancient Israelites, which I guess if you believe in the timing of the Bible and stuff is about 4,000 or 5,000 years. And then it goes from there to the ancient Greeks, from the ancient Greeks to the Magna Carta.
Okay. Yeah.
Excuse me, the
Plato
Stoics were in there. The Stoics were before the Magna Carta.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the timeline without looking at it, but I know that Plato was in there too because Aristotle got some of his information. He was a student of Plato. But all right, well, I guess we got a few bugs to work out with the actual.
My Facebook has never, I've never been bumped this often.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's giving you a certain amount of time.
Right, and it cut me
Like
off.
2 or 3 minutes, and then boom.
Yeah.
And did you take yourself off of Facebook streaming?
Well, see, yeah, I had two Facebooks going. The one was you right here through Messenger, and the other one was on my computer, is where I stream live to Facebook. And so I had actually two Facebooks going. After I ended the streaming Facebook and concentrated just on this, I still got bumped off twice.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll figure it out.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess we got something started. We can take our interests and look at where we want to go with it, and each do our own thing and compare. Maybe next Saturday I'll be on a plane.
Yeah.
So and then Sunday. So maybe Thursday or Friday. You guys be interested in that?
So far, I don't have any doctor's appointments or anything on Thursday, Friday.
I have to go to the good book here.
Yeah.
You're talking about Saturday or Sunday?
No, Saturday and Sunday I'll be traveling. That's when we go out to California. So I thought maybe one more session before I go out to California, and once I'm out there and I can get my computer established, we can still do it the following Saturday maybe. But I thought maybe one day before we left to see if anybody made any progress or if where our interests lie and stuff like that.
So, let's see. This coming Saturday is the 15th, and the one after that is the 22nd.
Right.
The 15th, I'd have to do it, but it'd have to be, 1 o'clock. I think I could hit it on.
No, I can't do Saturday. We're leaving.
Oh, okay. I can't. Saturday's actually difficult, and Thursday is not doable. But the Friday the 14th.
Friday the 14th. Okay. Let's do that, and we'll see if we can at least figure out if we all are working together on this, and not working together. You know what I mean? If it's starting to flow, or if we got to readjust or whatever. Just getting together one more time before I go away on vacation is basically it. Keep everybody in it,
Good deal.
All right, Jim. Thank
I
you
think
for.
Steve jumped out again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check with him and see what's going on.
Yeah, I think he's got to get off of Facebook and just go through a browser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll.
Right. Send out a notice for us.
All right, I will.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Been a pleasure.
Yep. Thank you, and say hello to Winnie.
Will do. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.